everyone. Today we're going to have a webinar about rewriting our fear of disease. Why? Because it can cause so many imbalances within our body. Um, and we want to be able to express ourselves in this world and balance our and at least support the body in its um, function, which is to create homeostasis in the body, and so we can enjoy life, and then of course also assist in creating heaven on earth, which is uh, homeostasis within and without. That is really cool. So so let's look at uh, what fear is. First of all, we gotta. This is the webinar part two. So fear is an emotion experienced in anticipation of some specific pain or danger, usually accompanied by a desire to flee or flight. Um, by the way, my name is June Roca. I'm a certified health coach. I, I just graduated from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And I have Leon here also with me. He's my husband, and he's a technical support. He works as a technical support in one of the large um, telecommunication company. And so
Hi guys.
there you go. Anything you would like to say?
No, not at the moment. You can continue on.
All right. So fear. Why? Why do we need to rewrite our fear of disease? As you can see, fear as an emotion experience in anticipation of some specific pain or death. It's an anticipation of, it's a projection of a past traumatic memory that's stimulated in the present by some environment stimulus, be it the media, your friends, your family, and it's usually triggered by pictures, words, and all this. And we will look at how the media come into the picture in the more in our part three of this webinar. So we want to direct our fear. So what is it? What is disease? According to the Word Web, it's an impairment of health or a condition of abnormal functioning. Um, it's just like health, disease is defined within health, and health is defined within absence of disease. It looks like these two are opposite polarities of the same thing. So, what is that same thing that we are talking about? We are talking about a definition uh, that is embracing all parts of life. We are talking about a definition, an expanded definition of disease and fear, which is which is not based on bias, which is not based on us avoiding something and then running after our desires and satisfying them and then believing that we feel good and look good, and in our behavior, in our words, we then act it out, which is not really real. It's just an animation of our fears. So later on, we will look at one particular mind pattern, which is driven by fear. So, and why we want to rewrite this this mind pattern. So, disease being an impairment of health, it we have given it a negative value, and so we try to avoid it. Why? Because we have seen people having disease, and we know that that person was somehow ostracized in society, was somehow unable to earn a living, was somehow in pain or in suffering. And we define that suffering and pain in a negative way. So we have to also look at those definitions. And yes, words, um, words are the center of all this. Um, so if disease is not an impairment of health or a condition or abnormal functioning, what is it? And if fear is not an emotion experienced in anticipation of some specific pain or danger, what is it? We are not saying it is not what it says it is. We are just looking at expanding it to a point where it is is aligned to what to the definition that is what is best for all in terms of humans, plants, and animals living as it is no use. We will judge, for example,
Working as bad and kill as good because really it depends on the portion. Let's say, for example, you eat um, sugar cane in a very minute quantity. Let's say 1/8 of a teaspoon um, sugar cane juice. So its glycemic index and its and many things will change, including the effect of it in our blood sugar level. In as much as scale also can change its nutritional data when eaten. When we eat, for example, 1 sack of kale, let's say, just to exaggerate the whole thing, but really there is a big difference. So so when people say, oh, you should eat this because it's good for you, even if it's a physician, have a look. Have a look at where they're coming from. They are judging, and we are judging. As we copy each other, we're we're going downhill into the abyss of judgment. And so we do not want that because we know that we are surviving because plants share with us nutrition that comes from their bodies. And of course, within all this is the earth sharing to us nutrition, minerals from the earth, and also water. So it is about looking at the whole and not parts of the whole. And it is not about judgment. When I end up judging a food item, I step back and have a look at the mind pattern that is based on either wanting to look good or wanting to feel good, which is, of course, coming from the opposite polarity, which is I'm feeling bad and sad and I'm feeling ugly. And so I've got to do this to have this result, which is me defining myself within the ugliness and sadness. Okay, so because as you know, I was diagnosed with cancer in the middle of a healthy eating craze. I was vegetarian for 29 years and became a raw foodist, a vegetarian, and then tested out not eating and drinking for 3.5 days after I was healed of cancer. So um, I learned my lesson, and it's the hard way. So let's look at uh, first some things before we expand the definitions of the definition of fear, for example. So here, diabetes, what is it? It's a According to the word, it's a polygenic disease characterized by abnormally high glucose levels in the blood, any of several metabolic disorders marked by excessive urination and persistent thirst. So when you are drinking a lot of water because you're thirsty, have a look. Get your blood sugar tested with the blood sugar monitor um, before you start drinking 3 liters of water or 5 liters, or and become so obsessed with the purity of the water. First step back. That is, I did not do that. So um, when I stepped back, I had a look and I saw some things that I missed. So uh, here, for example, the glucose levels in our body change. And it's not only because of a physical substance that you eat, it's also because of stress. And as you know, stress is about um, um, it's like doubt based, it's confusion based. Um, when you don't know something and you're kind of overwhelmed by something because it does not align to how you want to express yourself here, guess what happens? You get stressed. Why work is so stressful is because even our selling techniques and our marketing techniques are not aligned to what's best for all. We know that we are actually manipulating people most of the time in our sales techniques, in our marketing techniques. So then it becomes stressful. And so then we try to remove the stress by eating food that we think are good for us. And of course, because we believe that, that happens. But have a look at what belief is, because belief, according to the word web, let's look at this before we get into that. Um, okay. We'll talk about belief later on. Um, it is what you heard or what you hear, what you heard, and what you have read, which you did not test in all ways, and we took it as our truth. So let's say, for example, diabetes. What have we connected to diabetes? So Leon and I listed some words that we connected to diabetes, both good and bad. And so these different things, these different values that we give words within our definitions of the word, either positive or negative, kind of create um, a war within us. It creates, it reacts to each other, both within and without. Let's say, for example, this yogurt number one, of course. It this it has a sugar with sugar. It it exists in flavors with sugar and with no added sugar. It's not without sugar, but it's with added sugar. And yogurt number two, of course, has sugar. And yogurt number three also has no added sugar, but it has other sweeteners in it. So let's say, for example, you're faced with these three kinds of yogurts. Which one would you choose, Leon? What what's the first thing that will come up if you're faced with these three kinds of yogurt?
Well, taste.
Taste. Bingo. So here, very interesting is the truth of it all is that we're not looking at labels, we're not looking at nutrition informations. Guess what food is about? Food is about um, a substance that we take to nourish our body, to give our body nutrition. And and the question is, why is it then that when we see food like yogurts, for example, or what other food, um, we first think about taste? That's a good question. You know that. So we'll go over the part three in part three of how the food industry is structured because you will be surprised. It's all about taste. And that's why I developed um, an ebook within my 21 day sugar investigation that's all about, um, you know, um, what I found out in my sugar investigation and what I ended up doing um, and eating. So it'd be cool to have a look at that book. It will be out soon. Please watch out. Be part of our email list because we will be updating you. There will be a lot of things that we're going to investigate in the food world. We're going to investigate hypertension, salt. We're going to investigate eating behaviors. And so here, it's good to know what taste is about. So, according to the Word Web, taste is the sensation that results when taste buds in the tongue and throat convey information about the chemical composition of a soluble stimulus. So, here, um, it's very clear. It's a it's a sensation, but the question is it physical or is a mental sensation? Is it a feeling? What kind of sensation is it? So if it is a physical sensation that is seen as what it is, well then it is real. But when taste is interpreted by the mind, the definition of taste becomes biased. It will have positive and a negative definition. Let's say, for example, I like um, sticky rice with jackfruit. Do you like sticky rice with jackfruit, Leon?
Uh, no. Well, I don't know. I haven't tasted.
But I have made some a
Uh,
coconut milk with rice and jackfruit.
oh yeah, that's good.
You like it?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah. He mix a little bit of sweetener in it.
Yeah, the sweetener, I will tell you all about it because I tried the stevia, I tried different stuff, and in the end, I tested this particular sweetener that um, that is not too processed, which is very surprising. It's not coming out in the market that much or advertised that much. You know, that is very cheap. But hmm, but I found out the portion, a portion of that in my food doesn't really raise my blood sugar. Of course, you will have to test yours because we have different DNA, um, and so we have to test our own food and our own blood sugar levels. The thing with the mm, the testing that is being done outside, you can also get that, but it only comes because it is very expensive. I mean, more expensive than when you do it yourself. It is only being done w- once every 6 months or once every year or so. But for me, what works for me is I want to know right now if I eat something, is it gonna how much it will that raise my blood sugar level? I want to know that, and I want to know how to balance it out in a way that it will not um, exact. I mean, tax the body of or give the body a hard time to actually go back to homeostasis or to balance things out. So here you can see if I define this particular yogurt as creamy and it remains solid for a long time, that's physical. You know, this one is um, it's got a delicate taste to it. I like the subtle taste of it. Very little acidity. And this one here also very subtle but very delicate also. Um, it's in between these two in terms of texture. Um, but then if I start saying that this is better because it's got stevia in it, and this one has got organic raw sugar, and this one has got um, maltodextrin or some other sweetener that is. Let's look at this. It has sorbitol, which is sugar alcohol, isn't it? Too?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and all this. So I would say, oh no, it tastes good, but if it has this, it's bad for me, you know. And of course, it's got this good and bad aspect of it within your definition of it, and so it will create um, a sort of a war within ourselves. It's the warring definitions. You know? That's why we expand definitions to what is best for all, because then we are not compromising our stand um, for what is mutually beneficial for plants, animals, man, and others that are here in this world, you know, in this life. We are walking one life. So, of course, this one here is called no sugar added yogurt. But of course, it's got all the sugars listed. Okay, it's just sugar alcohols. But then, why is it that they can get away with no sugar added? Because that's how they can advertise it as good. So then, the good and bad thing is present in the environment and within us. And so we react to yogurts outside of ourselves, and, and either good or bad. And then, so it's an external and an internal war going on. So, do you have anything to say?
Well, for me, I've been doing studies on no added sugar, no sugar added, and basically, when I look at the pecans and pralines, which is the one up here at the top, I'm seeing that based on my research, how there are many things that make the uh, the food item taste sweet. Things such
So
as,
it's the taste really.
yeah,
It's the taste that the reason why we're putting all this is so that it will be sweet. And so then one day I bought from the health food shop. Remember that day when I bought this kefir drinking yogurt?
yeah,
Yeah, and of course it's it's not sweetened.
hmm
Because it has in it um, the natural sugar and milk,
hmm
and so it wasn't as good. So it did not give me that positive energy experience that you know that that comes when I eat frozen yogurt. But so what I'm saying here is that it's all about taste. So uh, so then it is commonsensical for us to look at how we prepare food also, because most of the food prepared out there is to satisfy our desire. And if our we are not desiring so much taste for food, food will be different, you know?
yeah,
So here another kind of yogurt has got mounted again advertised as no added sugar, but be, but because of because all of us are trying to survive in this world by earning money, because we need money to survive, to buy food, to buy, and to have the roof over our head. So, so they resort to advertising with no, with using words with no added sugar. So words are being abused here, and I mean abused in a way where words is supposed to be here to so that we can communicate and express who we really are as equals walking this one life. We are all birthed here and we're supporting each other. The plants and the animals are supporting the body to survive so we can all express ourselves. So here, so it's being used also uh, within abuse, within marketing, you see. So, but where did it start? We started it all. We are the creator and we are the created because look what we created out there. We don't even like it. So here, um, which yogurt did I like? I liked all three, if you ask me, with regards to taste. The only difference is why are we deciding on taste?
And so I realized, if my body needs yogurt, it's it's the milk in the yogurt and it's the probiotics in it. That's it. So you can actually even raw yogurt made from coconuts are being deified. It's something like um, a superfood, like something that is being featured in advertising as like big, the best um, in the kind of yogurt that we can have. But the thing here is this a, is this coming from a pattern of um, I fear disease, so I better eat healthy. And so according to this guy on TV, this coconut yogurt, raw yogurt, is better than the normal yogurt made from milk. So then let me eat this. If it is this pattern, a pattern being a way of doing things, if this is following this pattern, it is the same fear of disease pattern. You see. So um, we have to rewrite this pattern to where we can expand the definitions, correct them, and then leave according to that expanded definition, where then we can um, we can live as who we really are, equal to plants and animals, and not always judging them. Because if we do that, and if we end up doing business, judging animal this is good and animal this is bad, or plants this is good and animal that is bad, then we are in constant war within ourselves and within our definitions of words. And so then what will happen, we get overwhelmed, and then we get sick anyway, and because stress is gonna come. So from that confusion, we create our own stress. It's not the food, because you can actually regulate the amount of food you take. One eighth, 1/4 teaspoon, 1/8 teaspoon. Have you tried that? No, you haven't, and I haven't either. But then I chose to judge the food, and what happened is I was diagnosed with cancer. Why? Because I'm constantly existing within this war, within and without, in my judgment of food. And and this is my message is um, step back, have a look at the meaning of food. Food is nutrition, is a substance that gives nutrition to your body. If you're gonna judge food according to the nutrition, it doesn't make sense, because different food is there, a source of different kinds of nutrition, and you have a different DNA makeup than I have. And so you will have to find the food that will fit your own DNA makeup. I can help with that if you contact me. If you become part of the email list, our email list, we will you will be able to contact me. I will assist you, and if you work with me, and I'm I will be available for anyone who of course fulfilling certain criteria that I put out there. So if you are really serious in doing something about redefining your or expanding your um, food words or whatever in your life, because the the wood the the food words that we use, we connect to different things in our life. Let's say, for example, um, Leon has got this positive the positive words attached to diabetes.
Yep.
Aw- Awareness is one of them.
Yep.
Do you have
Awareness,
any other words?
awareness, and responsibility are the positive.
Because
Um, be- because within that, within having diabetes, you have more, I guess you could say, opportunity to take responsibility for yourself and your body and your health.
mm-hmm,
You know, and also within that awareness of knowing what to do and how to do it effectively.
mm-hmm. And the negative part is, of course,
Yeah, negative part is hypertension, dementia, Alzheimer's, death, and yeah, and those basically come from memories of because my dad has diabetes, fear of me getting diabetes, and because I heard something about if you have diabetes, your leg or something, if you don't take care of yourself, your leg or your arm will have to be amputated. That came from a memory, which drove the fear.
right. And same with me. I saw someone whose finger was amputated. And in the family, um, someone died because of diabetes, and was unable to work because of that, and was really suffering. And so, of course, with all this, m- my definition of disease was also connected with death, amputation, gangrene, limb, the word limb, and my positive definition of it is disability, because um, mm, our relative actually received disability. Actually, my mom's friend who married a guy who has diabetes receives disability because he has diabetes, and so he's able to stay home and be taken care of by the wife. Um, and so I define that as a positive. So that is really fuzzy logic, and the mind does that. We as the mind, because we even created our own definition of words. And so we can uncreate what we've created, we can expand words. And here to assist also in that. So I define it within disability, money, because he's receiving money even if he's not working, and rest and care. Those are positive definitions that I connected to the word disease. So then, disease is not disease anymore. It becomes something else. It is defined within bias. So if you look at disease, um, it's it's and taste. It's the physical aspect of it that is real. But then the interpretation of it within our mind. Let's say, for example, with disease, these are the oh, sorry, let's just jump out. To detect my pattern. But what we are showing here are the books that will come out, and the books that we are going to launch uh, very soon. Um, that will talk more about the mind patterns. The mind patterns being um,
driven by or being fueled by fear. And w- what we want to say is that through redefining words and expanding words to align to what is best for all, and then leaving that redefined or expanded definition, um, we can actually find the gifts hidden within our fears. We we just I did not want to face my fears before. I did not even want to look at it because I was meditating, and I was meditating every day about I am that supreme entity, and so I missed the whole thing. That the reason why I'm doing that is I defined myself with an inferiority, and so I want to be superior. When in fact, that is me as the mind within that definition, and who I am here as that beingness, as that awareness, as that breath, um, is being missed, and my expression, which is a gift really, um, if we just face our fears and redefine words and expand words. So we encourage everyone to redefine words and release the fears associated with words and our mind patterns, negative and positive definitions. We have workshops coming up, and if you want workshops in wherever state you are in, please write us an email, an invitation. We'll see what we can do. Um, of course, we will have to look at accommodations and many other logistics of it, but send us an email, communicate with us. It will, if you are part of our email list, you will be updated with the um, with events and um, webinars and conference calls. And it's really cool to see you in person. I also use um, kinesiology or muscle testing to test out um, different um, different muscle reactions to different things to sort of show that what I'm talking about is real, and it's not like something that I just created out of nowhere. Um, it's based on my research. It's based on my and testing things in my life, and so that's why I create living ebooks. It's about my own living my life, and there is also one coming out which is about um, my living life review, which is about why wait before you die, before having a life review. Do it now, here in this world, while you're alive. Well, that's very interesting, really, for me. So watch out and attend our events. There'll be more coming, and there are a lot to say. So thank you for being here. Yeah.
Thank you.